The torrential rain lashed the abandoned Blackwood Manor, a somber spectacle against the oppressive sky. Muffled screams echoed through the broken windows, ghosts of a forgotten past. The night deepened, devouring the last remnants of light, and with it, a new and terrifying story began to weave itself. In a dusty room, where cobwebs adorned furniture draped in white sheets, an antique mirror rested. Its carved wooden frame displayed strange symbols, promises of unholy knowledge. The air seemed to vibrate with a latent, impatient energy. Elias, a historian obsessed with local legends, felt a cold shiver run down his spine. The mirror seemed to call to him, whispering secrets that time had tried to silence. The premonition was palpable, a cruel nail driven into his curious soul. As he touched the cold surface of the glass, a wave of heat struck him, followed by a tingling sensation that spread through his fingers. The veins in the frame seemed to pulse with a crimson light, and Elias's reflection began to distort. The reflection was no longer his. It was deep, empty eyes, a visage of pure terror molded in shadow. The gaze staring back was not human, it was something ancient, hungry, trapped for eternity. A pained sigh escaped his lips as a sense of despair enveloped him like a frozen shroud. The mirror no longer reflected the world, but the depths of an endless torment. He recoiled sharply, his heart hammering in his chest, but the gaze persisted, seared into his mind. The image, dark and chilling, seemed to have implanted itself in his very soul. In the following days, Elias's life transformed into a vivid nightmare. In the dancing shadows, he saw those eyes, cold and inquisitive, lurking in the darkest corners. The house seemed to conspire against him, the creaks of the floorboards sounding like ghostly footsteps, and the wind howled with the voice of an ancient lament. His friends noticed the change. His pale skin, the dark circles under his eyes, the constant tremor in his hands. Elias spoke in whispers about the gaze that followed him, about the force that consumed him. He began to draw the symbols from the mirror's frame, etching them into his notebooks with feverish obsession. Perhaps, through knowledge, he could find a way out of the prison his mind had become. The note spoke of an ancient entity, a being trapped between worlds, that fed on the sanity of those who crossed its path. The mirror was the door, and Elias, the chosen victim. One night, as he examined one of the drawings, the entity manifested more fully. The room's walls seemed to contort, and the air grew heavy, charged with a fetid odor. An oppressive darkness emerged from the mirror, no longer a reflection, but a tangible form of pure malevolence. The shadows coalesced, forming a tall, horrifying figure. Those eyes, now more intense than ever, fixed on Elias, draining his life force, his hope. Terror paralyzed him, an imminent sacrifice. He felt his mind fragment, his thoughts dissolving into white noise, replaced by the entity's overwhelming presence. Elias was no longer himself, but a vessel. Blackwood Manor fell silent once more. The screams that now echo are not of ghosts from the past, but of a man lost in an abyss of darkness. And in the center of the main hall, the antique mirror remains, its surface now cloudy and pulsing. It waits patiently, a dark invitation to the next curious soul. The gaze that saw offers no mercy. It merely consumes, and the slow decay of the soul is the only promise it fulfills.